Hello students, in this video we will start with the second part of chapter number 10, light, and our second part is refraction of light. So let's start what basically the refraction of light is. Now we know that the light rays always travels in straight line. But this is true when the light rays are there in same medium. Whenever the light rays they move from one medium to another, so their direction gets changed, either they will bend, and that change in the direction of light when it moves from one medium to another takes place at the boundary of the two different mediums, and that change in the direction of light when it moves from one medium to another is known as refraction of light. So let's see the definition of refraction of light. The bending of light when it moves from, when it goes from one medium to another obliquely, means if the light rays they are moving from one medium to another at some specific angle, that is obliquely, then only the refraction of light will take place. Or we can define refraction of light as the change in direction of light when it passes from one medium to another obliquely is called refraction of light. For example, here we can see that here the medium is air, and when the light rays they enter from air to glass slab, so the bend in the path of light can be easily seen with this diagram. The rays of light which are entering, so those rays are known as incident ray of light, and the rays of light after bending they are known as refracted ray of light. Again, normal we know that it is the perpendicular at the point of incidence. Now what is angle of incidence? It is the angle between incident ray and normal. What is the angle of refraction? Here R signifies angle of refraction, not reflection. So here R is angle of refraction. So this angle of refraction is the angle between refracted ray and normal. So in this figure we can easily see that the path of light is no more straight, it is bending. So this shows the phenomena of refraction of light. Now here the angle of incidence will not be equal to the angle of refraction. As we have studied in the case of reflection of light, that angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection, but the similar is not the case for refraction of light. Here the angle of incidence and angle of refraction will be different. Angle of refraction could be less than angle of incidence, it could be greater than angle of incidence depending on the medium in which the light rays are moving. Next, what basically the cause of refraction of light? The cause of refraction of light is due to the change in the speed of light on going from one medium to another. Now we have studied that the speed of light is different in different mediums. For example, the speed of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Speed of light in glass is 2 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So if the light is changing its speed in different media, so on the basis of that its path also get deflected, it will bend. So this is the cause of refraction of light. Now we have studied that the cause of refraction of light is the change in speed of light in different mediums. So let's discuss that thing in detail. Now what we have considered that light consists of, we have studied about two theories. One is wave theory and other is particle theory. According to wave theory, light consists of tiny waves in it. So if we consider that light consists of tiny waves, so whenever a beam of light it travels in a medium, okay, and whenever it moves from one medium to another, so one part of this beam of light enters the second medium first, hence it slows down first, whereas the second part it enters a little later and hence its path gets slowed down a little later. That means whenever the beam of light it enters in different medium, it enters in other medium obliquely. So this portion will get slowed down first and this will get later. So because of this, the path of light, it appears to be a bit tilted, and this is what we call refraction of light. So we can conclude that speed of light waves in one one side of a beam changes a little before the change in speed of light wave on its other side causes a change in the refraction of light. So this is what we call it as the cause of refraction of light. Now we can classify the different mediums into two categories. One is optically rarer medium, the other is optically denser medium. So if we talk about optically rarer medium, so optically rarer medium is a medium in which the speed of light is more. So we can categorize such medium as rarer medium, and optically denser medium is a medium in which the speed of light is less. Let's consider this thing with the help of an example. Whenever the light, it moves from air to glass. Now we know that the speed of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, and speed of light in glass is 2 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So the medium in which the speed of light is more will be the rarer medium, and the medium in which the speed of light is less is the denser medium. So here air behaves as a rarer medium and glass behaves as a denser medium. Now one more property is also there, that whenever a ray of light, it moves from a rarer to denser medium, so it will bend towards normal. And when a ray of light, it moves from a denser to a rarer medium, then it will bend away from normal. Let's consider this thing with the help of an example. Now here the medium is air. When the ray of light travels from air and enters to glass, so at this point, as air is a rarer medium, glass is a denser medium. So when it moves from rarer to denser, so it will bend towards normal. Actually this must be the path of this light ray, but it will bend towards normal. If we consider the case opposite to it, here glass is there and here air is there. So glass is a denser medium, air is a rarer medium. So when a ray of light, it moves from glass and enters to air, at this point again its path will get changed. Now it will move away from normal, as stated here, that when it moves from denser to rarer, it bends away from normal. So this must be the actual path, so it bends away from normal. Now let's consider the case of light when it moves from air into glass and then again into air. So let's see. Now the ray of light which falls obliquely on this glass slab is known as incident ray of light. So here the medium is air. Whenever the incident ray of light, it enters in another medium. Now here air is our rarer medium and glass behaves as a denser medium. Now we know that when the light ray, they move from rarer medium to denser medium, they always bend towards normal. So this must be the original path of this incident ray of light, but because of refraction of light, it bent towards normal, and this ray is known as a refracted ray of light. Now again at this point, here the medium is glass and here is air. So glass is again a denser medium, air is a rarer medium. At this point again the light moves from denser medium to rarer medium. Now we know that whenever the light, it moves from denser medium to rarer medium, it bends away from normal. So this must be the actual path, but it bends away from normal, and this ray is known as emergent ray of light. Now one thing we can see, that this emergent ray of light is parallel to the direction of incident ray of light. If we extend this incident ray of light, then we can compare that emergent ray is parallel to this extended incident ray of light. So this perpendicular distance between the incident ray and the emergent ray is known as lateral displacement. Now this angle, the angle between incident ray and normal, is known as angle of incidence. The angle between refracted ray and normal is known as the angle of refraction, and the angle between emergent ray and normal is known as the angle of emergence. One more thing, this lateral displacement The lateral displacement basically depends on three factors. One is the angle of incidence, second is the refractive index, and third one is the thickness of this glass slab. And this lateral displacement is directly proportional to all these three factors. So this is how the path of a light will look like when it enters from air to glass and then again into air. Next is the case when light falls normally or perpendicularly on a glass slab. That is when the angle between the incident ray and reflected ray is 0. So when it falls perpendicularly on this glass slab, then no refraction of light takes place and it travels in a straight line. So in this case, no refraction of light will be observed. The reason for this is that in this case, the beam of light that strikes on this glass slab at the same time. So the complete beam of light changes its direction at the same time, hence no refraction of light will take place. Next is the effects of refraction of light that we can observe in our day-to-day life. The very first effect, if we talk about, is that when you will place a stick partially immersed in water, appears to be bent at the water surface. This we all have tried also, that if you will take a glass of water and put a pencil in that, so that pencil, it appears to be tilted as if it is broken. So that is observed because of refraction of light. In the similar way, if we try to consider the depth of a swimming pool, so it appears to be a little raised. So let's consider that how it happens. So if you will place a stick in water, that means if we are placing a stick in water, then it appears to be tilted, as you can see here. Now how it happens, let's consider that thing. Now this is the end point of this stick. From this, rays of light are passing. So when these rays of light are moving from this water to air, now we know that whenever the light it moves from one medium to another, so it will get bent. So here this behaves as a denser medium, this is rarer medium, so we know that light always bends away from normal. So when it bends away from normal, so the Cx will be and dy will be their refracted paths. And when you will extend these refracted paths, so they will meet at this point I, which indicates that the image of this object in water appears to be at this point. So because of which the stick appears to be a bit raised. In the similar way, if we consider the example that when you will place an object under water, it appears to be raised. Again, the similar phenomena happens here. Suppose if we placed a coin in an empty beaker where no water is there, so these rays of light, they pass from this and they directly enter to the eye of the observer without any bending. Why? Because here the medium remains same. When the medium through which the light is propagating is same, so no refraction of light will be observed. But here is the medium air and here is water. So this is when you will place a coin under this water, so these rays of light, they will pass from this coin into air. So this OC and OD, they represent the rays of light in water, and when these rays of light enter in air from water, so their path get deflected, that will get changed to Cx and dy. And when you will extend these refracted rays of light, so they will meet at point I, where the image of this object will be observed. This is the reason that why the height of the things in water appears to be a bit smaller. Next is the laws of refraction of light. First law says that the incident ray, the refracted ray and the normal at the point of incidence all lies in the same plane. And second law states that the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is always constant for a given pair of media. Now we know that in refraction of light, angle of incidence cannot be equal to angle of refraction. So the sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction for a given pair of media will always remain constant, and that constant here is refractive index. That means the value of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is always equal to a fixed quantity, that is refractive index, and refractive index for a medium and always remains same. Now we can define refractive index in three different ways. First of all, refractive index is defined as the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction, as we have studied in the second law of refraction of light, that is n. The symbol for refractive index is equals to sine of I to the sine of r, where I is the angle of incidence, r is the angle of refraction. This is also known as Snell's law. Second definition, that refractive index could be represented as the ratio of speed of light in medium 1 to the speed of light in medium 2. Here though we have represented refractive index in terms of angle of incidence and the angle of refraction, but we can represent refractive index in terms of speed of light in different mediums also. If we want to determine the refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1, so it will be written as the speed of light in medium 1 to the speed of light in medium 2. That means here we want to calculate the refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1, and such type of refractive index in which we are comparing it with the other medium, it is known as absolute refractive index. One more type of refractive index is there that we call as relative refractive index. It is the ratio of speed of light in vacuum or air to the speed of light in a medium is called the relative refractive index. If we want to calculate the refractive index of a medium with respect to air or vacuum, then that is known as relative refractive index, and it is represented as speed of light in air or vacuum divided by speed of light in that medium. One more thing, that refractive index, it basically specifies the bending ability of a medium, ki how much it will bend the rays of light either towards the normal or away from the normal. Now let's solve few numericals based on refractive index. First is, a ray of light is incident on a glass slab at an angle of incidence 37 degree. If the angle of refraction is 24 degree, calculate the refractive index of glass. Now here the angle of incidence and the angle of refraction are given. So specify what basically is given here. What we have to calculate here is refractive index. We know here angle of incidence and angle of refraction are given. So we'll use the formula of refractive index in terms of sine of angle I to the sine of angle R. So this is the formula. By substituting these values here and substituting the value of sine 37, that is 0.60, sine 24, that is 0.40, on solving we'll get it to be 1.50. We know that refractive index is a ratio of two similar quantities, hence it will not have any SI unit. Second numerical, when a light enters from air into glass plate having refractive index 1.50, what is the speed of light in glass? Here the refractive index is given and we have to calculate the speed of light in glass. So again we will use the formula of refractive index, but this time it will be in terms of speed of light. Now it enters from air to glass, that is if one medium is air, so other will be glass. So we have to calculate the refractive index of glass. For that we require the refractive index of glass is given. We have to calculate the speed of light in glass. For that we require the speed of light in air also, which is known to us, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So we will utilize that information. So refractive index of glass is 1.50 as stated. Speed of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, which is known to us. Speed of light in glass we have to calculate. So we'll use the formula of refractive index. Speed of light in air to the speed of light in glass. Here one medium is air, other in glass. On substituting their values in solving, we'll get that speed of light in glass comes to be 2 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. Next is the refractive index of kerosene, turpentine and water are 1.44, 1.47 and 1.33 respectively. In which of these material does light travel fastest? Three mediums are given and the refractive indexes are given, and we have to specify that light travel fastest in which medium. So we know the formula of refractive index, that it is equal to speed of light in air to the speed of light in medium, or we can write this formula in terms of speed of light in that medium as the speed of light in air to the refractive index of that medium. Now from this we can say that the speed of light in the medium is inversely proportional to its refractive index. That means the medium whose refractive index is minimum, the speed of light in that medium will be maximum, as they are inversely proportional to each other. So these three values are given. From them we can specify that refractive index minimum is this value 1.33. So we can say that the refractive index of water is minimum. So if its refractive index is minimum, so it will have maximum speed of light among these three materials. So the speed of light will be maximum in medium, which has the least refractive index, which is the refractive index of water. So we can conclude that light will travel fastest in water. So this was about the topic of refractive index. Thank you.